Hey there, my name's Steve. Welcome back to Freedom Through Farming. Just standing by my pond in the field here. Just taking a look at the water situation. What? What are you guys looking at? Did I say something wrong? Ah, I'm wearing a different hat today. This here's my potato hat. We're not talking about ponds, we're talking about potatoes, silly. Let's walk way over there to the garden and I'll show you where we're gonna plant the potatoes this year. Well, it's a bright, beautiful day here today. Just walking from my field on the south side of my property and I'm gonna walk into the garden. We almost made it to the garden here. We're still walking. Here's my raised garden beds that I built last year. And underneath these black tarps is where the potatoes will live. I put these black tarps down last spring just to kill off some of the grass underneath. This was going to be the location for my squashes and pumpkins. The plan was to grow them in these bags over here, and all the vines spill over onto this black plastic. But they sure didn't do very well last year. So what we're going to do is we're going to take up this black tarp and we're going to plant our potatoes in trenches here. We'll hill them up with soil and I'll show you the progress. Now that you know where the potatoes will be planted this year, removing the tarps and prepping the ground for potato plantings. Now that you know where the potatoes will be planted this year, removing the tarps and prepping the ground for planting is about step 3 or 4 in the process. Let's get on to step 1, boiling and mashing the potatoes. No, I'm just joking. We're gonna cut and cure them first. Let's head down to the basement and I'll show you what's going on. I made it down into my kitchen basement. People, meet potatoes. What are those? Ugh, nasty looking, awesome growing potatoes. This year I ordered my seed potatoes from West Coast Seeds. I got 3 different varieties: Yukon Gold, Chieftain, and Gemstar Russet. Here's a Yukon Gold. Not bad, not bad. Here's a Chieftain. Whoa, look at that one. We need to get these cut up and cured and then planted in the ground. And here is a Gemstar Russet. They look pretty similar. I hope I can tell the difference in taste. This here's my workstation for the potato project today. As you can see, the 3 varieties of potatoes in the cardboard boxes, my clean cutting board and clean knife, and some 10 by 20 garden trays that I'm gonna store the cut up potatoes for curing. Let's begin with step 1 of the process, cutting up the potatoes. We'll start with the Yukon Gold and I'll show you how I'm doing it. Here's 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. You can see some have more growth coming out of the eyes and these dimples than others do. But for a small potato like this, I'll look for at least 3 different dimples or eyes, and it'd be nice if some have some growth on them. But I'm basically going to cut these small potatoes in half, and maybe the medium in thirds and the larger potatoes in quarters. Let's get started with one of these small ones. Basically just going to cut it in half. There you go. And then we'll place these cut potatoes on the 10 by 20 garden trays for curing. I'm trying to avoid cutting through an eye or a dimple if you can avoid it. Well, look at that medium potato. I got 4 chunks out of there, and I think I'm happy with that. Let's put them on the curing 10 by 20 tray. Here's large potato. Let's cut off this big growth first. There you go. That's looking good. I might cut this one in half now. And then I'm gonna cut these sections in half. There you go. Nice. Looking good. There you have it. 3 potatoes cut up, waiting to be cured, and getting excited to be planted in the ground. I got a lot more potatoes to cut up. There's 1 box of cut up potatoes, 3 more to go for the Yukon Gold. There's 2 boxes of Yukon Gold West Coast seed potatoes. It fits in a 10-20 tray just fine. Actually, I might space them out a little bit after, but so far so good. Let's keep going. Here's the Yukon Gold cut up potatoes ready for curing. Before I move on to the next variety, I better label these. 1 variety done, 2 more to go. This here variety is the Chieftain. A nice cut up pile of Chieftain potatoes. Let's place them on the curing trays and label them and move on. Chieftains are done. 1 more variety to go, the Gemstar Russet. Let's get to it! Here's the damage. I'll have to clean up these boxes here shortly. Gonna clean up the workstation. And I only had about 3 rotten potatoes. One was a Chieftain and 2 were Gemstar. Here's all the cut up potatoes, the Yukon Gold, the Chieftain, the Gemstar Russet. What's this? Oh yeah, the Safeway. I just cut up those 2 potatoes and we'll see if those grow as well. I don't know if this is a lot of potato or not a lot of potato, but that task is done. I think the potato hat did very well today. We cut up 3 varieties of potatoes: Yukon Gold, Chieftain, Gemstar russet, and now step 2 of the process has begun, curing. Next step, we'll remove the tarp in the garden and start digging our trenches. But first, we gotta clean up, and I'm gonna set up a fan to get some airflow on these potatoes. Workstation is tidied up. Cardboard boxes are put away and floor is swept. Fan is set up to provide airflow for the potatoes. And finally, the potatoes loving the curing stage. I'm all done in the basement. Good thing, because it's a beautiful day outside. Let's head out to the garden area and start step 3 of the process, removing those black tarps, and then we'll get the trenches dug for the potatoes. Ugh, not the creepy basement.